Hey, how's it going, guys? It is Tuesday, January 31st, 2012. Last day of January. And as I said yesterday, this month flew by. And well, I guess that's 1 month down, 11 more to go in Vlogyear. So I was on my computer. I was on YouTube, and I was checking out a couple more comments on my video yesterday. I was talking about searching for episode 1 figures. You know, yesterday was supposed to be the official release date for the episode 1 wave and new merchandise coming out for the 3D release of The Phantom Menace. Which also, now I find this kind of strange. There's a few other movies, kind of older movies, that are being re-released in 3D, like The Lion King and Titanic's coming out in 3D and Finding Nemo. But also with these, it's one thing with modern movies, but with these kind of older movies that are being re-released like this, they're also being released in 2D. Which, you know, nothing wrong with that, but I just find it a little odd, just because the whole point of the re-release, especially with the Star Wars films, is that they're in 3D. But yet they put also in 2D, which I don't know, I find that sort of odd. You know, maybe I'm alone in that, I don't know. But anyway, so it got me thinking about 1999, when The Phantom Menace originally came out. And there was so much hype for this movie. You know, it'd been 16 years since Return of the Jedi. And, you know, I remember being off the day the toys were going on sale. All the new Star Wars toys for this new movie. And I remember going to the mall, and I spent a ton of money. I think I spent like $100 or so just on Phantom Menace figures. You know, and they were neat, and they had, like, if you remember, they did the technology with the Comtech chip, so the figures spoke. You know, it didn't really sound that great, and, you know, it would have been nice. It was just kind of like electronic sounds, and they didn't sound like the actors or anything like that, but it was something different. It seems like that's something they tried to do. It's like, okay, we got the figures, let's try to do something different with them. That was what they came up with. They didn't keep going on with the Comtech chips with the other movies. They did a line of figures of, like, original trilogy figures with Comtech. They did a Han and a Greedo, and there was a Luke, a few others, but I guess they kind of abandoned the idea. I guess they decided not to continue with it. But anyway, I was thinking about that day, and where I live, the next town over is a town, Bergenfield, and there used to be a toy store called Plastic Dreams. It was a collectible toy store, which I actually wound up working at a couple years later. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, so I go in. I was done at the mall, and I'm coming home. I'm coming home on a bus, and it passes this street in Bergenfield where Plastic Dreams is. So I went in that store all the time, and I got to know the people that worked there. You know, it's not a chain or anything, so it's just kind of like a local store. You know, so there's just a couple of guys working in there. So I got off the bus. And I decided, let me go in there and just, you know, I thought I'd say hi. You know, and they had a bunch of episode 1 stuff there as well. But also, what was there was a reporter from one of our local newspapers, and they were doing a story on Star Wars collecting and because it was such a frenzy. There was so many people that were just really excited and amped for this movie. And so the guy was doing a story. They talked to a couple of people that worked in the store, and they were just doing a story on Star Wars collecting and you know how excited some people were to finally have new Star Wars figures. You know, this is, you know, a couple years. It's 99, so it's a couple years after, you know, the Power of the Force line had been out a couple years, and you know, so we've been seeing new Star Wars figures, but this was new Star Wars figures and vehicles for a new movie, which was really exciting. And I just remember that time, and in fact, they wanted a picture. There weren't any customers in the store at the time, and the guy was taking some pictures, and he wanted a picture of somebody looking at the toys. He needed like a customer shot, and that's what he wanted. And they actually asked me if they could take my picture of me standing by the display of toys, and so my picture was actually in the paper, and I kept the clipping. I don't know. It's you know, this is about 12 years ago. See, it says, "Menace anyone, yes, say Star Wars shoppers." Now I won't read this whole article here, but there I am. I got my picture in the paper as the name of the store, and you know, kind of neat. You know, I made sure I got a copy of this the next day, and so, you know, they just had me hold a couple of figures and, you know, take a picture like I was, you know, gonna buy them. I was done with my buying for the day, so I didn't buy anything else there. But you know, it's a neat little thing to have my picture and name in the paper, so kind of cool. And you know, it was just a crazy like period. It was like Star Wars was having this like resurgence in the 90s, and I even remember going that first night to see episode 1 with my brother and a couple other people, and they were like, there's a service called Movie Phone where you can get movie times. You just type in like whatever the movie you're looking for, and it tells you what theater and whatnot. But they also sold tickets. They had a feature where you can get tickets, and there's a couple other places. There's a thing called Fandango and a couple other things that do that, where you can order tickets ahead of time, and they'll hold them for you at the theater. So I remember doing this, and we got tickets ahead of time, and I remember there was such a crazy. There were people that were scalping movie tickets for a movie. I think they started like a week or so before the movie actually came out, where you could actually kind of pre-buy tickets. And I remember hearing about there were actually eBay auctions for movie tickets that were going over $100, and that's crazy to think of at the time. Can you imagine? I mean, ticket prices go up. You know, you're paying around $10 a movie ticket now. You know, depends on, you know, what theater or whatnot, but it's roughly around $10. I can't imagine spending $100 for a movie ticket, even if it's Star Wars. I mean, that's just crazy. That's really weird to think. So that got me thinking with the new wave of Phantom Menace figures coming out. This story just kind of popped in my head and was like reminded me of. So I knew I still had this clipping, so I thought, let me take this out. I thought it'd be a neat story to share with you guys. So yeah, that's definitely a neat little moment, and just it's interesting that to feel that craze, and it should be cool to sort of feel that craze again. We'll see how feverish it gets. I don't know why. Will there be like huge lines like there was back then, or it'd be interesting to see what happens when it does come on February 10th. I think there's even gonna be midnight shows. Some theaters will probably be doing that. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So yeah, that's I think that's about it for today. This is a little earlier than I normally do, but I figured this like I said, this story popped in my head. I said, oh, that'd be really cool story to tell you guys. So I figured let me do it, and I'll upload these a little later. Oh, and also, right before I filmed this, I did a quick little review on a little item that I got a couple weeks ago. So that'll be up a little later, and you'll see that. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys have a real great day. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day off from work, and yeah, I will see you tomorrow. It'll be February 1st. So long.